Hey everyone, my name's Richard. I am the VP of Sales here at PSPDF Kit. Um, Today I've got with me Guillermo, who's going to be working in the background. He's one of our engineers from our web solution. So he'll be handling the chat and answering questions along with me. So if you have any inquiries or if we can steer the demo a certain way, we can do that. A little bit about myself. I've been with PSPDF Kit close to, I think, 9 years now. So been excited to see all the change. Guillermo's been with us several years as well. So we should be a couple good resources for asking questions and getting into it. But, the goal of today is to kind of go over, who PSPDF Kit is, some of the things that we offer, and we can get into some of the functionality you can include in your application. So I'll give it one more minute and then we'll jump in and get started. But I'll start share my screen. So you should be able to see our website starting now. So great. So a little bit about PSPDF Kit. PSPDF Kit started close to over a decade ago. Our technical founder, Peter Steinberger, originally started the company by developing a PDF SDK for iOS applications. And so that was our flagship product, supporting PDF rendering and manipulation in iOS apps. Over the years, we've spent a good number of resources building out other products for Android and other operating systems like Windows. But one of our fastest growing product is our web SDK. So being able to take a web app and then put both rendering and manipulation tools into a web app. So we'll be covering that today. So a little bit about our website. So I'm here at pspdfkit.com. I'll go ahead and kill my bookmarks so you can see everything. Kill that. So pspdfkit.com, we work with all different types of industries. So, a lot of different uses for where PDFs come alive. So awesome. So going into our products, kind of as I was speaking, we have a number of different places where we can provide PDF support. So, today we'll be focusing mainly on the web side of things, but, we do have other offerings such as mobile SDKs for, as I was saying, iOS and Android. We have hybrid technologies as well as server side tools for, batch automation and things like that. So depending on what you're interested in, we probably have a solution for you. So let's get into the demo. So PSPDF Kit, one of the best things about our products is you can always click the get started and start a free trial. So, depending on what you're working on, you can come in and do any type of evaluation of what we'll show today. Towards the end, I'll walk through kind of how that works as well. So what I have up right now is a custom application that we've built using our web framework. So what you can see on the screen is essentially the SDK. The sidebar is a custom sidebar we've put in to kind of show examples. But here you can see the full list of all the products that we offer. So starting with our web standalone SDK. So essentially what the majority of the demo will address is both the web standalone and web server backed frameworks. Again, this brings PDF rendering and manipulation into your web application. The key differences here is our web standalone integration is fully client side. There's no backend requirements. Basically, we give you access to the JavaScript client. So all the rendering and manipulation happens in the browser. So the work's offloaded to the client. Makes it super easy to get up and running. The difference between web server backed is it comes with an additional server side technology that is delivered as a Docker image. It enables things like server side APIs like batch redaction, batch OCRing, as well as like being able to increase like rendering performance and stuff like that. In addition to that, you can see we also have, products for native iOS and Android apps, Windows, Mac Catalyst. Recently, we've invested a lot of resources in building out support for different hybrid technologies such as Flutter and React Native, so you're able to bridge multiple different applications with one single code base, and then different integrations for like Electron, Salesforce, SharePoint, Teams, things like that. So if you are using SharePoint and you're having to leave to manipulate documents in Adobe or something like that, you could consider using PSPDFKit as a tool to bring that completely in-house. So great. So looking at some of the functionality that our web framework supports. So let me clean this up for you. Let's go ahead and get this deleted. Okay. As I kind of suggested, we have a trial key on our website that allows you to download our latest version and all the functionality that you can trial that we offer. One of the buying journeys that you will do is, often you don't need all this functionality. So what we've done is we've broken out the SDK into licensable components. So what that means is each one of these drop downs is a different component that you can add to your web application. So what I'll spend time doing today is kind of going through these and kind of highlighting some of the major functionality there, why Guillermo helps with the questions and the chat. So starting with our viewer component. So this is the base component of essentially all our front-end SDKs. So this allows you to open a PDF within your application and then allow PSPDFKit to take the reins and start rendering the document. We're really happy with PSPDFKit's rendering performance in terms of the solutions on the market. I think we're one of the most performant ones as well. So we'll walk through some of the nice viewer functionalities that you can add to your application. So when we look at viewing documents, one of the biggest thing is speed. So as you can see, like we try to render the document as quickly as possible so you can start the viewing experience. We know that your users, may not understand the complexities of PDFs or web applications. So, being able to render that first page as quickly as possible is super important. So we accomplish it a couple different ways through both our standalone and server-backed integrations on ensuring that you're able to view that first page as quickly as possible. So some of our niche viewer things is obviously the appearance. We enable certain things as dark mode or night mode, excuse me. We also allow a number of different ways to customize the interface as well. We know, we give you a template, but we a standard template of how to use our framework, but we also know that each use case is a little bit different. So being able to come in and customize the toolbar, you can see I've got all these icons here, but maybe I want to simplify this quite a bit. So I only want my users to have a few options. So I can move things around. I can replace things. I can drop certain functionalities within certain subsets, but the appearance of the editor within your application is super customizable. As you can see, I've tightened this up a little bit and kind of diminished some of the functionalities maybe I don't want my users to see. You can also see, you can change the different colors. So, if you're building this for a client of yours that has certain brand colors, you're able to, theme it based on that. So, a lot of different ways to be able to change the signature icons, things like that, so that you're able to provide the experience that you want for your clients. So that's super important. In addition to that, we are continuously always working on our UI and expanding it. So if there's any type of feedback you could give our team, we'd love to hear it. Cool. So some other things that you'll find commonly bundled with our viewer, the ability to search within PDFs, being able to render a document and then being able to search within the PDF and then see where that applies. That's one of our standard viewer features. Fitting to page, zooming out. PDFs are used predominantly with kind of engineering plans, e-readers, things like that. So there's a lot of use of the zooming features, as well as different ways to navigate throughout the document. We also expose the thumbnails for the document for easy navigation, so you can see the document as a whole, as well as an outline. So the PDF specifications outline a number of different things that when a PDF is created, it allows you to standardize how a PDF is viewed and kind of used across different readers. We spend a lot of time doing QA and compatibility testing with other renderers in the market. So we follow the spec in a lot of different places. So if you're pulling a PDF that maybe wasn't created with PSPDFKit and it has an outline, we're able to pick that up and display it and allow you to use that as well. Same thing as bookmarks, being able to add a bookmark to a page. You can save these. So if I scroll up, but I want to come back to my bookmark, it's easily there. We also put a full annotation list. So if there's any annotations done to the drawing, you can track those as well. All this is exportable too. So, one of the things you're seeing is a lot of the demo today will be focused on the UI side of manipulating the documents. What's quite great about PSPDFKit is we expose all this stuff to do it on an API level without any UI or UX interaction, and you can track this stuff as well, depending on that. So, yeah, so I'm rendering this in Chrome today, but we definitely work. We see the market definitely moving towards also using web apps on mobile. So you can see different devices down here on like how would PSP render a document on different devices. So an iPad Pro and how that would work. A Galaxy phone as well as an iPhone 13 or Pixel. So being able to use PSPDFKit across different devices is something we definitely test for. So yeah, so I'll check to make sure Guillermo is on top of everything, and it looks like he is. Great. He's working quickly on this. So thanks, Guillermo, on that. So that was just our viewer. So a lot there. The next progression in kind of the demo today would definitely be our annotations tool. It's probably where we see people most commonly come to PSPDFKit. There are some, relatively reliable open source viewers in the market to be able to just take a document and render it into your application rather than having to download it locally or go somewhere else. So typically when annotations or markups start to be part of the process, we see a lot of people inquiring about using our framework. There's not any robust open source tools that are allowing you to annotate on a PDF. So that's where we see a lot of people coming to us. As you can see, we have 22 different annotation types. So it's something that we've definitely expanded on. Some are like industry specific that I can get into in a second. So I'll pop back over here and start talking about annotations. Okay, so annotation. So probably the most common annotation types we'll see is just a freehand ink annotation. So being able to just draw on a PDF with your mouse, your stylus, maybe it's your finger if you're on a mobile device, but being able to just mark up a PDF with kind of a freehand annotation. What we do from there is we allow you to then customize that. Maybe you set these as different defaults, but it gives you the ability to really mark up the PDF, change the opacity and the transparency of the annotation and things like that, as well as like the thickness of the line. So, we call this our inspector. So you're able to take different things that you mark up the PDF and then be able to manipulate it so it looks like how you want it to. So that would be just ink annotations, being able to draw on the PDF. So yeah, one of our most common use. I'm using a mouse today for the demo. The next one would be able to just freeform highlight. So basically like an ink annotation, but it gives you the ability to highlight, allowing the text to be seen through the highlight, opposed to, an ink annotation. You're going on top of the text there. So we allow you to be able to come in behind. I can change the color as well, but we're still allowing the text to be shown through and to highlight it so you can see it there. And then, if you need to, you can erase it and undo. We also have an undo redo button here in terms of annotation. So you can also use like an eraser to do fine tune deletion, but you can also use the undo redo button. Yeah, so those are probably our most common annotation types we see, just the drawing and the highlighting. We do enable you a couple different ways to interact with text. So, if you have text selection enabled, you can select the text. I think I saw a question about text extraction. You could do that a couple different ways. You could come in here, if you highlight the text and then highlight it, you could programmatically extract all the text that's underneath the highlight. Guillermo can help with that. You can also use different text editing tools such as strike through. And so what we're able to do is we're able to find things on the PDF. You're able to select it with the mouse, and then you're able to interact it with certain ways. So you have a little more of fine grain kind of control over editing text on PDF. So the highlighting is something that you can extract what you need to there as well. Cool. I'll take a quick look at the things. So it looks like we've got more questions. So I'll keep going. Form creator, yeah, we'll definitely talk about the form creator and stuff like that. We'll make our way through most of the things, and we can talk about licensing model at the end as well. So everyone has questions on those. Other annotation types, stamps. So we use the same stamp template as Adobe does. So if these have been used on another PDF viewer and you bring them into PSPDFKit, you'd be able to render those correctly. We also give you the ability to actually create custom stamps. So you can create, maybe this is a webinar stamp. We use the time and date in here, but you can also upload an existing stamp design that you maybe have. So maybe you have something specific to your industry. We've had use cases where people are like recreating traffic scenes, or maybe you have construction drawings where you need to drop places where like a kitchen sink goes. You can use those as stamps and then drag and drop them onto the PDF as well. So that's easy to do. You can also drop images. So like if you need an image annotation, so I can actually put our feature list as an image on the PDF. So we've got a lot of different things we can do here. And then even if I needed to mark this up on top of it, I'd be able to mark on top of the image as well. So I can further do that. So a lot of capabilities here. Last few annotation types. We have text annotations if you need to add anything to PDF. Again, we give you an inspector to change the font and everything like that, as well as, different polygon or shape annotations. One of the great things I think about PSPDFKit that you find is we spend a lot of time caring about the details. One thing you'll see is like, this is a cloud annotation. When you look on our website, on our front page, you can see that, we work with a lot of different solutions. When you look at the construction industry, Autodesk, PlanGrid, CMIC, Procore, these are some of the biggest construction software providers in the world. When we look at our demo here, cloud annotations is an industry specific type of annotation that you use when working with engineering drawings. So we worked with those companies after they requested this type of support to bring it into the PD, to bring it into our tool. So being able to do that for those companies is something we really enjoy. So the more and more we learn about different industries. So when you look at our website, aviation, being able to work with airlines and understanding how they use us, education, learning management systems, a lot of workflows have gone remote. So being able to allowed teachers and students to collaborate was something we really helped out with during the pandemic. So you feel free to check out these solution pages. We go through different things you can do for each solution, as well as at the bottom, we actually give you suggestions on what components we see commonly used in the industry itself. Okay. So that's really helpful. So yeah, that's the bulk of the annotation support that we have. I think the only thing I left was maybe adding a sticky note to the PDF so that you can be able to comment on things like that. That's something we allow you to do, and you can change there. So let's pause for questions. Chat details. Possible content editor. A text box. Andy, we just went over that. Do you have a specific convenience requirements? Discord, Slack. Cool. All right. Yeah, a lot of these questions I can help answer with at the end too. Okay. So, excuse me. So yeah, we've covered 2 components so far. So we can move into, I know there was questions about form support, so we can move into that one as the next one to make sure we have time for that to cover. So PDF Acroforms is the PDF standard for collecting and kind of distributing information on a PDF. So a form field is an opportunity to annotate a document in a specific way so that you can both input the data and export it. So with PS-PDF-Kit, we allow you to do 2 things. We allow you to, 1, fill this out through a UI where I can come in and, I can add that I'm the 3rd or something like that. I can fill up my zip, okay? But we also allow you to programmatically fill out forms. So you're able to connect this to your existing database and map certain form fields to things you have. So you can fill out first name, you can fill out last name prior to, so as you render the document or prior to rendering the document. So you can save your users a lot of time. On the other side, you can actually, when you export this document, you can export this information to your database as well. So we have programmatically filled this all out for Mr. John Appleseed, so you can see all this stuff, so that you're coming in and essentially, checking this stuff out. So, but in terms of form support, there's a lot of different things that we cover. Drop-down boxes, being able to fill out different forms and things like that. And then check boxes, selecting days, things like that. So you're able to do a lot here in terms of being able to check certain things here. So on form viewing and filling. So I can edit this stuff as well. So at our SDK, by default, if you have the form viewing and filling component, will recognize form fields and then allow you to fill them out. So the question is, what happens if you have a form that you need to edit or you need to create a form? So we've built a form creator, both UI that allows you to do a number of different things. So I'll get this demo going. So you can do, if I needed to add maybe a signature box to the PDF, to the form. So maybe I don't need this date field anymore, so I can get rid of that. I can move the signing field down here. So I need 2 signatures on this. And then I can now start customizing the appearance of it as well. Border color, get pink, border style, solid. I can do a couple different things. And then the advanced side of things, I can, make the name of the form, custom data. Is it required? Is it a read-only thing? And so I can do quite a lot of different stuff in terms of editing this form. Which is great. So if I turn off form creator mode, we're good there. So a lot of different abilities to when you're creating forms. I could add maybe another radio button if I don't like checkboxes. Like I just don't like checkboxes. I'd rather a radio button here instead. I'm able to edit the form on the fly and create a new one that would allow me to do that. So yeah, let's see if the questions. Does PSPDF score any time to view data? No. So PSPDF Kit is for the majority of our products, they're fully self-hosted. Most of the SDKs are fully self-hosted. We do have a couple managed services for like API usage, but PSPDF Kit, once you deploy it in your own infrastructure, we don't get any of that data back. I can speak a little bit more on how we do licensing as well as the end, so you understand. So form creation, yeah. So you'll be able to do a lot of forms. So even if you had a simple PDF that, maybe you just needed a signature on the end on, you can come in here, enable the form creator, and say, I want to drop a signature box right here. And then it's enabled. Maybe I download it. And then when I upload it, I will be able to have the signature box there as well to sign. So cool. That's form creation and form viewing and filling. Right. So a couple random ones we'll go over real quick. Document editor, content editor, comments and replies. I can group these three together because they're good tools to use. These are more niche things in terms of your workflow, but incredibly useful. We see a lot of these three functionality used with like third-party tools where, you might have to jump out of you might be working on the fly. And you need to merge two documents. So our document editor component will allow you to kind of do document level editing. So maybe I need to delete this page. I need to import another document that I was working on. So I'm importing that document. I'm going to save it and get the new version of it. So here's a flyer that we were sending out to all our existing customers this past week about some of the new things that we've released in the past couple of years in terms of product updates and things like that. So I added that. Maybe I want two of them, so I duplicate it. But this allows me to avoid having to kind of leave the document itself to go merge, rotate, things like that. Document, maybe you're scanning in documents and they're not the right orientation. You can come in here. So the Documenter is a great tool for that. So you can see I created 2 pages here. So that's the document editor. So content editor, what I was saying was that essentially a lot of things that we showed today is us adding an additional layer to the PDF. So you're annotating on top of the PDF, you're highlighting the text, you're adding additional information to the PDF. What the content editor does is allow you to actually edit the existing text on the PDF. So I'm able to change text and replace text, with the existing font and things like that. This is great for quick edits on the PDF. Like as a sales team, we send out a ton of quotes. So, if I need to change dates, change pricing, change things like that, it's a great tool if you need to come into. We were just talking about forms as well. So like if you have an outdated form, instead of having to recreate the form editor is great to come in, or the content editor is great to come in and change different things. So like, maybe we need to phone number plus area code. So instead of having to start completely from scratch, you be able to use the content editor makes things a lot easier in terms of editing PDFs itself. So that's something we really are enjoying. So are our customers, and we continue to iterate on it. So there's more changes to come from it as well. And then the last thing would be comments and replies. So we understand that you can use our sticky notes to be able to comment on PDFs, but sometimes it's good in terms of like a review and approval workflow to be able to have like a threaded comment. So we created a component called comments and replies. So what it allows you to have is have a threaded conversation, much like Google Docs. You can either do it in real time or you can do it offline. So a threaded conversation. You can give even API usernames as well. So I'm under anonymous right now, but you can include a workflow that when someone opens a document, you ask for a username, and so you can have threaded conversations on the side of the PDF about certain topics. So that's really helpful in terms of being able to do that and have that back and forth. in terms of different things on the PDFs. Okay. Signatures, fun stuff. So PSPDF gets used by a lot of different e-signature providers, including like DocuSign, SignEasy, InfoCert, SwissSign. There's a lot of customers out there that are using PSPDF under the hood to provide e-signature solutions. We also have a ton of customers that come to us wanting to bring a signature workflow in-house. So, we've already discussed kind of the form creator side of things where I'm creating, a template where I'm able to sign things. But once that template's created, PSPDF Kit can recognize a signature field. I have to turn form creator mode off. Sorry. We can recognize the signature field and prompt you with the signature UI, very similar to what you'll see. So, you can draw a signature, you can upload your signature, and you can also type your signature. You're able to store these as well. So if you had like a signature you're always using, you can store these. So being able to recreate an e-signature process internally, we're a great tool for that to bring this in. If it's quick as like, I just need to add my signature to the PDF, or maybe I just need to initial a few things. We have a lot of different ways that either you can do it in a signature box, or you can just sign and then you can drag and drop and pull this where you want as well. So, we support both electronic signatures and digital signatures. So with electronic signatures, what you're seeing here is me adding essentially an annotation to the PDF. We've given you a signature UI to wrap it. What you can do from there is, like we showed the annotation list earlier, that you could export timestamps, dates, things like that through our APIs of when the signature was manipulated. You can ask for API names. If you need to take an additional step to do a digital signature, PSPDF can provide the vehicle to both apply the signature and verify it. So what it looks like is, if I was signing a document, I apply the certificate, PSPDF Kit recognizes that a digital signature has been applied to the PDF itself, and it'll give you that seal or approval at the top that there is a digital certificate. Where digital signatures become really, really valuable is that if there's any type of manipulation to the document, let's just say I highlight this S, we immediately would notify anyone that's looking at the document in our viewer that it's been modified since it was signed. So invalidating the digital signature. We've got a lot of exciting stuff around digital signatures to share, but one of the common things we talk about with a lot of potential customers is, what is the best workflow? Is it an e-signature workflow? Is it a digital signature workflow? But PSPDF can do both for you. Yeah. Cool. We're making our way down. So a couple other things just to note why we're doing this. So you can, PSPDF Kit, while the core document type is PDF, we do support other document types. You can ingest PNGs, TIFF files, JPEGs, DocX, Excel file, PowerPoint files. So what we do with those files is, when you go to render them, we convert them to a PDF, and then you're able to use all these tools that we've been showing today. So you're able to view them, annotate them, sign them. So, we're not just limited to PDF anymore. We have a number of different document types we can do here. The exciting part about image documents and Office documents, we can do this fully client side. So you don't have to spin up any type of server to convert them. We do that on the fly when you render the document, without spinning anything up on the back end. We also have a lot of tools that enable a ton more of conversion types with different, I think we have a tool with that under different file types, but it does require spinning up a server side integration to be able to do that. So this is just with the client side support that we have here. Also, same thing for like PDF-A conversion, being able to convert documents to PDF-A. We can do that on the client as well. So a couple of things to do there. So cool. I looked at the list and did see that we have a few people here today that are in kind of the construction and engineering space. We've talked a little bit about it today, but what we've built for specifically for those type of use cases is two features, one called comparison and one called measurements. What we have with comparison right now is the ability to take two different documents. If you look in the top right corner, you can see me looking at a cursor. I'm picking 3 points on this PDF on one document, and then I'm coming to a second document that is supposed to be another version of it. What this is allowing me to do is essentially, let me zoom out so my instruction box isn't there. What this has allowed me to do is I've overlaid the two documents, and I can see now where the lines don't match that there's differences. So I can see here in the bottom middle, this wall's been moved. Also up here, this wall's been moved as well. So it's a great tool to compare iterations of documents. We're working on finalizing support also for text comparison as well. So that'll be something we'll have soon, that you can overlay text-based documents as well and do a similar scenario where you can see the differences in different versions of the document. Yeah. So that's something that we know is super helpful. So the other kind of engineering specific tool that we have is called measurement. It's kind of what it's same kind of self-explanatory. You're able to take distances on a PDF and measure how far it is. So again, very helpful for engineering and construction kind of use cases where you're able to measure the distances and circumferences and area of certain things as well. So I can see this as well. Cool. All right, no questions. So we will wrap up at least on the webinar part of the demo of redaction. So we'll go straight into redaction. So redaction, there's a lot of tools that you can use to hide text on a PDF. When I say hide, what you generally see is you have vendors who will say, let's find the word application in here. We've got 6 instances of application. We've got a couple different instances. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What a lot of tools will do is that will help you hide it. So you'll draw a box over it. You'll fill in that box. You'll download that PDF. And then when you open it, it looks like it's gone. Like it does look like it's gone. But when you open it up again in the viewer, up and I go to search for application, I'm still getting 6 instances of it because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The underlying text has not been removed from the document. It still exists. So I'll start over and let's see, I'll reset. You're not removing the underlying text from the PDF. So we have built a redaction tool that allows you to do text or area redaction. So we'll do text redaction. So I'll click application, select it for redaction. I can put an overlay. So my overlay will be, I'm doing it for a webinar. Want it to redact in black. I enjoy the lime green overlay. I'm going to look at it and then I'm going to apply the redaction. Okay. Now, when I search application, I only get 5 hits. So I've removed that from the PDF itself so that it cannot be found. And this cannot, I can still download it. I can open it up. It's hidden. I also can come back into my thing and search for it. I'm still only getting 5 hits. So I've removed that text permanently from the PDF and underlying data to it. So a couple different ways to use our redaction tool. You can use it from a text standpoint. I can also just do an area redaction. So maybe I want to redact this photo. So web, apply it. You can see I can always leave a note on why I redacted it as well. We've iterated on this quite a bit. We've got some built-in redaction tools for you to use. So what I've been showing. We also have a search and redact, so able to look for certain words. We've also have some presets where like you can search the document for credit card numbers and it marks it for you, and then you can apply it. So we've done some of the more common redaction type. So anything with a URL. So I can make my way through and redact a lot of these different things. One of our most exciting things, though, is smart redaction. So this is a combination of another tool we have called GD Picture, which essentially is OCRing the document and giving you recommendations on auto detecting sensitive information that it believes should be redacted. So we ingested this document, it OCRs it, it intelligently says, this is the stuff we think you should do, and this is what we found. So, okay, I'm fine with emails coming through, addresses are fine, and then I can apply the redaction as well. So that's something that we've been really excited about, and a lot of people are leveraging now, especially with PII information and healthcare, financial industries, and things like that. So, great. Well, it sounds like the questions are slowing down and we're getting close to time. I did want to spend some time talking about about licensing and pricing and things like that, and some other resources. So if you've had a chance to trial, great, that's fantastic. You've already taken a huge step in kind of testing PS PDF Kit and seeing the value. If you haven't, you can come to our website and go to get started. If we were following what we were doing today, we go to the web SDK. We're going to pick our front end. So someone just said they had a Vue.js application. We'll go to Vue.js and we'll go to new project. So we go to get started, and we will help you get integrated into a Vue.js product. So we'll walk you through it with our documentation. This is specific to a Vue.js application. What that will do is give you access to, again, this entire feature list. You'll get the SDK. It'll have everything included. There will be a watermark on each PDF that does get removed after you purchase a commercial license key from us, but you'll have access to everything here. Okay, so you're able to trial that. They'll be watermarked. During your trial, we have extensive documentation in terms of being able to, we don't gatekeep any of our documentation, so you can come in here, look at, maybe you saw something today that you really enjoyed and you wanted to learn more about forms. So here's forms. I want to learn more about form creator. So here's a huge documentation on form creator. We also expose all our APIs, so you can see that different classes of APIs that you can follow, as well as our change log. So you can see we released something right here a few days ago, one in July, another one in July, so 3 releases in July. So you can see a couple of things that we've done here to follow that. From a commercial perspective, best thing to do is come in and hit the contact sales team. Would love to hear a little bit about your project. We do a kind of bespoke pricing model, which allows you to kind of tailor your license fee based on what you need. As we showed all those features today, one of the big things on pricing is what features you want here. So a lot of the discovery is going to come in and go figure out what you actually need, so you're not paying for anything that you don't want to deploy. So we'll connect you with a salesperson, probably parts of our solutions engineering and engineering organization, to determine what's the best package for you for your front end, your back end, whether you're working in Linux, .NET, things like that. So you're able to come in and fill out this contact sales form. You can pick what kind of SDKs you're interested in, and we can start connecting with that. If you don't want to wait for an email, you can always schedule a call directly using our Calendly link. So you can use this, and what it'll do is it'll give you the available time slots. These are times I'm available today. So it gives you the ability to schedule a call with our team. Aside from that, we do have full technical support and things like that. So there's a lot of resources there. So great. At the end of this, I will include my email as well. If anybody wants to reach out to me directly, if I can help you out with anything specifically or help you get in touch with anybody. I usually wrap up this by showing, one of my favorite tools called PSPDFKit Instant. So several years ago, we were trying to figure out how to bring PDFs into more of a modern working experience. And our idea was PDF Instant or PSPDFKit Instant. So what PSPDFKit Instant enables is basically real-time collaboration. So right now I have two different web browsers pulled up. I have 1 and 2, so I could share this with everybody and you'd be able to do it. What this enables is that anytime the documents change, there's a real-time ping back to your server that tells everybody what's happening to the document. So if I annotate this document, it immediately goes back and updates the PDF for everyone with access to it. So if I'm highlighting, if I'm underlining documents, if I'm having that threaded conversation, what this is doing is it's allowing me to really bring almost like a Google Docs workflow to PDF. If I come in here and want to delete a page, and save it, it pulls anyone who might be working on it gets an idea. So there's a lot of cool things about this, but it's a really great modern tool for how people can work on documents now. So you're able to merge, annotate, collaborate in real time. So yeah, and that's called PSPDFKit Instant. Well, great. Well, we're coming right up on time. Again, this will be emailed to everyone who registered. I'm putting my contact details in the chat if you want to save them. You're welcome to email me directly with any questions that you have. We also have the ability to reach out for support. So if you need support on an issue, you can email me or you can go straight into our support desk as well. So you can submit a grant. But I think Guillermo did a great job on answering the questions. I will go through it really quick. Do we store data? Nope, no data, unless you're using one of our managed service. Secure centers, we did digital. Edit text, yep. Text box, yep. Do we have the community discussion, support? Reach out to me for licensing, render PDF. Do we have one-off perpetual license? We license predominantly as a subscription. Obviously, there's scenarios where a perpetual license may make sense depending if your client doesn't have the capabilities of doing a subscription. But, generally we can talk licensing and kind of customize. It's why we do a tailored approach so that you're able to fit our licensing to your model. But appreciate everyone hanging out today. Apologies for the audio issues. Glad we caught it. But if there's anything else we can do, please don't hesitate to reach out. I know I recognize several names that I know we've been talking to, so hopefully this will be help us get ourselves aligned. Okay, I don't think that's load depending on using the license key or the internet access or use. So the way PSPDF, Guillermo's going to comment as well. The way PSPDFKit works, when you download the trial, you're downloading the package contents into your application. When you move into licensing, what we typically do is we give you a license key that communicates with the SDKs on two fronts. It says enable these features only, and it says allow you to deploy on this domain or this bundle ID. So what that does essentially is it does allow it to work entirely offline, because there is no online validation of the license key as long as the PDFs are stored locally. So you have quite a bit of flexibility there in terms of working in an offline environment. So cool. Great. We'll wrap this up. Thanks everyone again, and hope you enjoy the rest of your Tuesday.